Mortal Kombat. This is a adaptation of the very popular arcade game, which was made into 2 films, and now those films have now been remade and turned into this film, because that's what the kids are into nowadays. And look, I knew this would be stupid, but I'm fine with stupid. Some of my favorite movies are stupid. It was pouring rain today. I didn't have anybody to hang out with. The COVID, nobody's going out right now. Tiger's already lost. So I said, all right, I will take this in for what it is. All right, I can soak this in. I'm not some snob. I'll watch this. And you know what? I'd actually heard from a few fairly reliable sources that this one, despite the fact that there's never been a good video game movie adaptation, there's never been one. Don't give me Detective Pikachu, that doesn't count. I'm talking about an actual, honest to God, you take a video game and you adapt that video game. There has never been one that has been like universally praised as good. They've all stunk. Despite all that, I'd heard from a few people that this one wasn't that bad. So I said, all right, I'll come into this with an open mind, and I watched it, and this is bad. Okay, well, what are we doing with now that we're accepting something like this as art? I mean, come on, I'm 25 years old. That's an hour, 50 minutes of my life I'm never going to have back. I'm going to be dying one day, and somebody's going to say, what are your biggest regrets? And I'm going to say, I watched Mortal Kombat. I spent an hour and 50 minutes in my parents' basement watching Mortal Kombat when I could have been doing anything else. Anything else. Write that on my tombstone. Say he was 1 hour and 50 minutes away from changing the world, but he watched Mortal Kombat instead. Now, I will say this. The first 10 minutes of this movie, man, I was digging it. I'm like, whoa, Mortal Kombat's about to be some deep shit. Give me that. Give me a flimsy story. I'm okay with that. But give me some characters to root for. Give me clear-cut heroes and villains. And then give me a whole lot of blood and guts and punching. And I'll be a happy man. And that's not what happened. But I do have to give them credit. They hooked me in the first 10 minutes. I would even say the first 15 to 20. Really, I was like, all right, I like the setup. It's simplistic. It should be simplistic. They haven't overcomplicated this yet. I'm with this. Maybe this will be the one to break the mold. Maybe this will be the first official good video game adaptation. There is some good action in this movie. The way it opened up, like I said, I was really into it. I thought that was a very good opening. And some of the fight choreography is really solid. I like some of the violence. This is a movie where I was ready for it. Give me the blood and guts. I want to see all of it. And I wanted to see it reach that kind of exploitation level. It never really did, but I don't necessarily put that on the director. I've seen video game movies. I've seen movies, period, that had no effort put into them. I never got the impression that the people behind or in front of the camera didn't care about this. Like, I do think that there was genuine effort put into it. The problem is, like 90% of video game adaptations, it's a dumb idea. It's a 10-minute short film that's stretched out into a 2-hour movie. So those are the things I liked. The things I didn't. This is going to be one of those situations where I don't pin it on any of the actors, but nobody here has any charisma. And the reason for that is they're given dialogue that's so bad. I mean, and I'm not expecting Aaron Sorkin, but we're talking about dialogue that was like old and tired when the Star Wars prequels came out, like 20 years ago. That's how bad and wooden all of this dialogue is. And the problem is, this is the big problem though, because I could almost forgive all that. I could forgive the bad dialogue. I could forgive the clunky acting. Give me one character to latch onto that I can watch and enjoy this movie with. I want to give me somebody that I can enjoy this experience with. The example I use, the first Transformers, is so stupid, but it's one of my favorite movies, and I'll defend it to the death because they do a good job in the first third of that movie establishing Shia LaBeouf's arc. And you actually kind of like Sam Witwicky, and you root for Sam, and that movie ends up becoming like every 13-year-old boy's ultimate like dream, fighting giant massive alien robots. You got one of the most beautiful women in the world riding the passenger seat right next to you. That's a fun movie. Here, there's nothing. Every single one of these characters is a complete flat line, and that sucked. But I was saying to myself, all right, this is bad. This is a bad film, and we're going off to a bad area here. But if the final action sequences can deliver, if you could give me some awesome action, the way the John Wick movies do, because I know people love those movies. John Wick is pretty stupid, but you like Keanu Reeves, you like that character. That character has an awesome lore to him, and the action in those movies kicks ass. It's so gruesome and fun to watch, and it's well shot. And you get to the final, like, 45 minutes of this movie. The final 45 minutes is all fighting, and it's not fun or engaging because you don't care about these characters. It's not that well shot. Like, it's not cool or neat enough to be like, whoa, this makes up for the fact that I don't care about anything that's happening on screen. It's just a dud. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. And the whole idea of, well, this one's made for the fans, I think is rubbish. I think that's always been nonsense. That's such a cop-out. It's made for the fans. Christopher Nolan, when he was making the Dark Knight movies, said, oh, this it's made for the fans. The fans are going to... No, he made a badass movie. He made a badass movie series. And 75-year-old grandpas and 10-year-old boys in Lansing, Michigan could have enjoyed that movie. Could have enjoyed that whole series. Don't give me the it's made for the fans cop-out. That means it's made solely for the fans because they're the only ones who are stupid enough to take this in and accept it as art. All right, I gotta calm down a bit because this movie hasn't gotten like overwhelmingly good reviews or anything like that. It's not like the Snyder Cut, which people were championing as high art when it was nonsense. If you like this movie, fine. If you found it fun, fine. I mean, that's what entices you, what excites you. That's all completely subjective. I don't get it. And like, I just don't get movies nowadays anymore. I don't get why, like, this stuff is being pumped out to the mainstream. Like if somebody would have showed me a rough cut of this movie without the budget, without the extravagant effects, and said, who do you think this movie was made by? I'd have said, you know, like some 14-year-old, like, junior high student. But I guess because a few people got punched really hard, that means that it's good, apparently. I don't know. I just don't buy it. And I know I'm probably angrier in this review than I should be. But I've not seen a good movie yet in 2021. I have not seen a 2021 release that is good. Like, Malcolm and Marie was a 6, and I don't even like that movie very much. If this is the year that we're in for in cinema, then we're in deep shit. Excuse my language. I'm giving this a 4, and this is a generous 4. This is a really generous 4. Okay, the only reason I'm not giving it lower is because I gave Thunder Force a 3, and this movie, like, on its worst day, is better than Thunder Force. So, congratulations, Mortal Kombat, you're better than Thunder Force. All right, that'll do it for this review. You can follow me on Twitter at Castellani2014. Click that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you thought of this movie. I bet there's going to be some strong opinions by some people who maybe played the game or liked the game, because it's made for the fans. Sure. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you very, very much for watching. I will see you later. Peace and happiness.